program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into a very exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is the Strange One, Donnie Darko. Welcome to the show.
Ooooweeee, I appreciate it. Ooooweeee, I was in the building.
Yes, sir. Well, we're just getting to know each other here on the Zoom, but before we get too far into everything, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Man, I'm an alternative rap artist. I'm out of Austin, Texas. And I really don't sound like nobody on this earth right now. So I'm on a highway of my own. And that's a good thing because this highway on my own is leaving me with nobody around me as competition. It's leaving me as the only single competition. And I'm loving right now the response I'm getting from the world right now. And it's a real blessing to get it from everybody. And I am humble about it. So I thank you all because if it wasn't for none of y'all, it wouldn't be no me.
And I think you touched on something without even meaning to, and that it's a competition of one. Man, you got to go and beat the man that you were yesterday, and that's it. That's all this life is about.
That's the only person I gotta fight.
Well, and especially being a musician, and I'm more of a country rock artist, right? The space is different than the hip hop world. In the hip hop world, it's dog eat dog, and it's something that mutual friend me and West Coast talked about when we were on our interview recently, and it's why I admired him so much because he was always putting other people on, and it's like, man, that doesn't really happen in the hip hop world. So, Austin, Texas, you're a one-of-one alternative hip hop. I'm already intrigued. I know we're all going to be tuning in to see what that sounds like. But what's a little bit of your story, man? You born and raised in Texas?
No. It's weird how it happened, but I'm claiming Texas. It's weird because I was originally from out of Queens, New York. But when my mom was pregnant with me and she was visiting some people down here, she had me down here. So it's more like it's my birth down here. But like I said, over in time, I kept going back to New York. I keep going places, and shout out to my people up there that look out for me and sponsors me, and it's just the love I've been getting. So, this is where I reside, though. This is what I'm gonna represent. I'm gonna represent Texas.
Well, and that city, especially in Austin, has gone through a renaissance or whatever you want to call it these last 5-6 years, right? The influx of people has just got to be amazing. Probably both good and bad. I hear a lot of the good of it. I know the comedy world, Austin has now become Mecca with Joe Rogan and shows like Kill Tony. But what about for the music? It's always been a big music town. How has the influx of people now kind of affected that scene as well as the comedy scene?
Well, it's crazy because back in the day, hip hop was never thought about. It was just a little bit of shimmer, look at you, a little this, little that. But now, half of the whole world now listens to rap. So now they're starting to accept some of the artists that's here. And when it comes to other artists, I'm one of the major ones that's being talked about on the radar right now.
That's awesome. Well, and no lack of places to play. I'm sure as things are opening up now, all of these stages that were predominantly country, right? And then your rock and blues, I'm sure have a big influence down there. But now these stages are opening up to the hip hop culture, the alternative culture in general. I see a lot of similarities between the comedy world and the hip hop world, at least from the outside, right? It's a hustler's culture. It is you got to work your butt off every single day to be better than the person next to you, as well as being better than yourself, right? And you got to grow. And if you ain't moving, man, it's just going to pass you by so fast.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing that you're saying that really needs to be brought out because, like I said, you got to stay consistent because in this world of music, I'm talking about you could be here 1 second and gone the next.
And that's probably something that's happening to my music career. I mean, I have this outlet and people know that I play music, but because I've started to focus so much time on the podcast, because you got to ride the horse that's winning, right? Like if you got 7 horses in the race, well, then the one that's out in the lead is the one that gets fed. And right
Yep.
now, that's the scene projects. It's me being able to support more artists. But I still love to play music. I still love releasing my stuff and getting my own music out there, but I feel like I can't even like to restart that while I'm still in the middle of doing this thing. It doesn't even make sense because then I wouldn't be serving either one of them properly. Like whether you're in podcasting or you're in music or whatever you do. I was a welder. When I was welding in the factory, I was all in on that too. Like I feel like whatever you're in, even though you can have, a lot of arms, like an octopus, you got all them tentacles out there, you got to be able to stay true and stay consistent. And that can be so hard, especially when, life happens.
Oh yeah, when you're in the real world, it ain't as easy as a lot of people believe.
No,
And it can come with setbacks. Trust me. I know it can. I've been there.
me too, buddy. Me too. I share a lot on our program about my time in prison and about the bad choices that I've made and the times that I've taken myself off of God's path for me. But now I feel like I'm finally walking in that, and that's why the recognition maybe is starting to come now. That's why the momentum is swelling right now. And it's pretty cool. I know 500 or something views to a lot of people isn't much, but when you've only been getting 50 views on your YouTube for 10 years, and then all of a sudden you started being consistent and you're putting out quality content and people are reacting to that. It's a powerful thing, man. And I'm kind of riding that wave right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you got to. And let me tell you, let me do something to you that I do to everybody that I interview with or in my podcast. Because even though this is the first time me meeting you, and I know I met you through West Coast, but like I tell everybody, man, for real, say, man, first, flowers to you on your success and your grind. Never stop doing what you're doing. Continue to keep doing what you're doing and reap the fruits of your labor. And I'd rather say that to you while I see you around live than not at all.
Yes, sir. That's a powerful message. And I'm glad that you make it a point to share that with, guests of your podcast as well. What's the name of your podcast?
I don't have a podcast.
Oh,
No,
no.
I'm saying all the interviews and podcasts I do.
Oh.
I give everybody their flowers.
Well, brother, I'm going to tell you right now that you should have a podcast. I just watched the table turn on me, and all of a sudden I was the guest and you were the host.
I do that to everybody.
And it's good, this thing it's different. It's different than, going on TRL back in the day or something. It's not I'm here and it's like we're in a conversation. I'm talking to you and sharing bits of myself and you're sharing bits of yourself, and that's how that's how God's speaking through us.
Yes,
right?
yes,
That's how this thing is expressing itself, and we're sharing these stories, and maybe we're all a little bit of therapy for each other. I was sharing with you pre-show, how today is my granny's birthday, and we had lost her a couple of years ago, and how I didn't want to just like hold that as my experience. I was sharing it with our readers on our website. I'm sharing it with you and the listeners, and because it's important. We've all, if you've gotten to this age, I'll be 40 in a year and a half or less. And you don't get to this age without losing people. You don't get to this age without having to say goodbye,
right.
know?
And see, and the thing is, I was about to stop doing music completely because when I lost my daughter, I was done. I didn't want to deal with nobody. I went into a shell. Even though people tell me you need to keep doing music, I didn't want to do nothing. I had no drive, no spark, no life. Until one day in a dream, it was like I had a dream like I was seeing my daughter. And the first thing that came out her mouth was, "Daddy, why you stop doing music?"
That's powerful, man.
And that just made me get right back on what I was doing. Because I was in a dark place. I was in prison myself. I was in a dark place. I was just totally zoned out as another. And then it was funny when I came out, I had myself as an artist name, but not really knowing the backgrounds of, I had to learn the backgrounds of the music. And it was more, I'm getting lawsuits, people suing me because of my name. And it was crazy. So it was funny when I started doing features with people. And every now and then, when I was doing the features, I would always say something about, I'm crazy. I get dumb. People always think I'm dumb, but they always find that I'm the strange one. And then it was just crazy when I said, man, let me start using this. And the Donnie Darko, though, comes from when I got invited to an A&R session in New York with Sony Records. And I performed for them. And then they were like, hey, you need to get your views up, but we're going to start dealing with you and working with you on the side. I thought, man, look, any attention I get from y'all is better than no attention. So I greatly appreciate that. But then they started putting this promotion and marketing guy behind me. And he was the one who told me, we need to put another name behind your name. Because he said, when you looked up the Strange One to see, that's why I say I never do research. But now I'm doing a lot of research. I didn't do research at first as an artist, but now I do a lot of it. Now, what I found out was when you go to Google and you typed in the Strange One, the first thing pull up is the movies, the Strange Ones. I never knew it was a movie. Now, so later they told me, hey, since you weird, we're going to give you the last name of Donnie Darko. And I was like, I don't really like that name. It's weird. So I talked to my brother one day and I was telling my brother this. And my brother was like, hey, you ever seen Donnie Darko, the movie? I said, the movie? Yeah, there's a movie called Donnie Darko. What? Get the fuck out of here. It can't be. And it was funny. So
I thought they were just clouding because I was black.
Yeah. So, because I got the mask. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So they told me to go with it. And so at first I said I wasn't feeling it. And then this man told me something that was powerful. He said back in the day when they worked with Eminem, he said, I'm going to tell you this, listen to this, but when you typed in Eminem back in the day, what did you get when you typed in Eminem?
The candies.
Right. So they said they gave him another mockier, which was Slim Shady. So when you put in Eminem Slim Shady, you started getting him. Now, after I've been put in a lot of media, I've been in a lot of blogs and magazines lately. It's been crazy. I've been in Billboard. I've been in Source. I've been in a lot of magazines. Oh, man, it's incredible. But over the time that has been happening, now when I type in the Strange One Donnie Darko, it's nothing but me. Now, and I was tripping on that, but that's what they was telling me. We had to work on your SEO.
Yes, sir.
And since they've been working on that SEO, it's been getting ridiculous.
Man, I'm so stoked to hear that you just been getting this attention and people are coming around to the music. I'm so proud of you. I know we just met, but I know the grind it takes to get to that level. I know, I just like you said, you deserve your flowers too. I didn't see the whole grind, but the fact that you got here, it doesn't happen by accident. Especially in today's world, you got to work your ass off to get any attention.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where this started because I'm out here. I'm in South Dakota in a town of 1,000 people. Nobody's talking to us. Nobody cares. Nobody from New York is flying out here to find the next big thing. And what I am, I'm surrounded by people that don't care about it, right? We got our town. We got we have these venues that we get to go play and we get paid pretty well to go do it, right? I make $1,000 plus a show when I go out to perform at these little places. And so we do okay. We don't need to go to Austin or to Nashville or to any of these major metros to feel like we're living our dream. And I was just like, man, there's so many people out here living it. We need to tell those stories, right? Like, I don't want to talk to you because you were on The Source. I think it's great that you were, but we got connected through mutual friends, right? I'm not going through and reading through the Billboard charts and going, I got to interview this person and this person. I don't care. There's plenty of people that want to help them tell their story. Who's going to tell the story of the man who just got out of prison and turned his life around? Like my boy Secret Veda, right? And telling his story and now how he's helping charities in South Dakota, like Emily's Hope, who are we're trying to fight the fentanyl epidemic and we're trying to get test strips and we're trying to get Narcan. Like we're trying to put life-saving measures into the public, because as much as we want to preach to be sober and we want everyone to live that sober life and to stop doing drugs, we also realize that there's some people that can't see out of the darkness yet and that are still stuck in it. And we got to do what we can to protect them too, right? So I'm trying to shine a light on those people and not necessarily the jelly rolls of the world who are getting all the flowers already,
Yeah, it's true because like I said, between everybody, all of us got something. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are. And I don't care how squeaky you say your life is because there's always something there. You know what I'm saying? Whether it helped you or it harmed you. But we all carry our demons. We all carry our people. Depends on how you make friends with your demons, like I made friends with mine. So they just around for the ride. But like I said, and I like the point you was talking about. So here we go. Like I said, you didn't find me through anything else. You found me through another mutual friend. See, that is one thing of a key that can really build things that people don't know, and that's networking.
I got a good friend of mine. His name is his hip hop name is Marv Ellis. He's from the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. He's got a band called Free Creatures now. It's him and his wife. His wife plays the upright bass, does a little trumpet. She's a beautiful singer. Their friend Skylar Sculio plays a mean guitar, left-handed and upside down. They got a killer sound, brother. I know you're gonna love them. But he has a line in his song, and it's something that he lives by too. But he says, "My network is my net worth." And that's it. That's been my life. That's why I love to travel. And now with, all this technology we have, I get to do it by Zoom. Without this, we never meet. We never get to communicate and share our stories and change each other's lives with a conversation and then get to put that out to the world and possibly change other people's lives, man. That's the power. Somebody posted in a group the other day, like, how do you measure success for your podcast? And I was like, lives changed. It's all it's about. I don't care about the numbers. You know what I mean? It's great. It's great that 500 people saw that last reel. And it'll be great when 5 million people see these episodes, right? But it's about the lives that we're changing that matters. That's my metric for measuring success. And yeah, if that's one at a time, so be it. That's the only way you can do it. It's the only way you can do it is one at a time.
The only way. The only way. The only way.
Oh man, powerful, powerful conversation. I love doing this. I love doing this because I didn't know you from Adam. You know what I mean? I didn't know you from anybody walking into this conversation. And before I even saw your face on the screen, we were already talking, and talking real life stuff, man, losing grandparents and just being out here and being raw, being real with your audience. And I think that obviously that's got to come through in your music or you wouldn't be riding this momentum that you're riding now.
And it is. It is. It's more inspiration for people. And then the blessings is that it's just growing and stretching. My music is starting to go into movies. It's starting to get in. It's just going crazy. It's getting crazy. And all I can do is still just stay humble. And at the same time, like I say, I work on myself, but then I work on my other half, which is my wife. Now, this is crazy. Everything I do, I'm always mentioning her. But she's a Christian rap artist. And so when I started helping her career, all I started doing was being the features and then on the hooks and all that. Next thing I know, she's starting to blow up on her own. So now they look at us as a wife and husband team. So, I was like, the only time I got a partner is when we're in the Christian world. When we're in the hip hop world, it's just me.
Well, and what a cool, like the yin and the yang, right? She's the light, and you got Donnie Darko over here, and you all are able to come together and not just make beautiful music, but to build a beautiful life together. I wouldn't be here without my wife Danielle.
Yeah.
Like she changed it, and we couldn't be the same either. I was in prison, she was a CO. We didn't start dating there, but I definitely met her. I knew who she was. We had some
Mhm.
interactions, and getting out, she had, when I paroled out, I went back home, across the state. And a few months before that, she had moved out there on a whim to, try something, to be somewhere else, right? Young girl, grown up in a small town, the town we actually live in now. We moved back to her hometown 5 years ago, but it's just I could never imagine being on this ride and being where I am without being able to grow with that woman, but to grow through her, right? Like our interactions with each other teach me so much about myself every day,
Yeah.
every day. And whether
Oh
it's,
yeah.
getting her to apologize, or like today where I'm a little bit raw, man. I'm dealing with my own emotions, and maybe I say some things that aren't appropriate. You know what I mean? She didn't deserve that, but it's because I was living in my raw emotions, and I wanted my morning to go a certain way, and then it didn't, and I kind of took it out on her. And now we're at the point where within minutes we're texting each other and apologizing, right?
Yeah.
It's no
Yeah. Yeah.
longer going through the days of being mad, or and it probably helps that I write songs about it when we get in fights, and it puts her in tears. I got one called True Meaning, brother, that it has gotten me out of a couple of dog houses already, and it'll probably continue
Mm.
to do so. And once that
Uh,
one stops working, I'll write another one.
oh my God. Hey, I'm gonna tag you to a post I got that's going viral. I got a reel I made, and it's me and my wife walking. And I said, y'all help me understand this. Because it's not making sense to me. Y'all help me understand this. God created us. God put us together. God made us one. We made ourselves a power couple. So why are you going to hate on that? Let's make it make sense.
And that's what it is. And we're finding our power, right? This music before I quit my welding job last year was a hobby, right? We did it on the weekends. We'd have too many drinks on Friday and Saturday night, and it was just the bar band, man. I'm sure you see it in Austin, man. There's plenty of
Yeah,
guys out
yeah.
there that do it every weekend. That was it until a year ago, and I started listening to some podcasters like Andy Frisella, and started wanting more out of my life, right? And it was that podcast, Real AF, man, is just that, right? It was real quick that, like, no, you are accountable for your actions. Your choices are making your life the shit that it is. You hate going to work every day and doing that? Well, stop doing it then. If that's what's destroying it, if drinking every day is fucking your life up, then stop doing that. Stop putting it in your mouth. And it was like, whoa, whoa, those are powerful statements that just is so simple. It's why didn't I think of that, right? All the drugs and the drinking that I'd done in my life that did nothing but cause me sorrow. Why would I keep doing that? I'm
It did. It
insane.
did. It did. It did. It did. Here's another powerful thing that I've learned. Now, look, if you hang with five wealthy people, you'll become the sixth one. If you hang with five intelligent people, you'll be the sixth one. If you hang with five drunk people, you'll be the sixth one. If you hang with five dummies, you'll be the sixth one. Choose your people wisely.
And that's a great point to leave this, man. And why the thing that keeps me going is because I keep connecting with incredibly intelligent, maybe not wealthy yet, but a wealth of spirit, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of life experience that we're all able to share. And to me, that's more valuable than any money you could put in my hand. I don't want money. I want security, right? I want the house that my wife deserves. I want her to feel secure so that when I'm gone, my wife is 10 years younger than me. Honey, you're going to be living a portion of your life without me. That's that's the nature of the business. But I want you to be secure when I'm gone. I want my kids to know that their dad loved them. I only want the money because it's a means to an end.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. But
Brother,
now I know there's another spot me and my wife can come to now.
You know it, man. When it all goes tits up, brother, you just come to South Dakota. Most people don't even know where it's at.
Shit, I know where it's at.
Yeah, it's due north of you, man. You just hit 29 and go.
Man, it's just beautiful. Like the people I've been connected with and the people I've been dealing with. I mean, when you want to say you worldwide, you worldwide. And this month has just started. My first this year has just started incredible. It started incredible. It first started with West Coast. It first started with West Coast with a podcast. Then that next week, I did another podcast with some people out of Milwaukee. The next week after that, I did a podcast with a woman out of Australia. I did another podcast that was in London. Now I'm doing a podcast with you. So we're in South Dakota. And a couple of more days, 3 more days on Thursday, I'll be on the Icy Show. And that will be out of Boston.
And how can you say it's anything but God?
Huh.
You know what I mean? Every time I go on Facebook, I connect with someone new or somebody's emailing me and this is all connecting. And I'm not making this happen. I'm not doing this. And then you get on the call and all of them just unlock that new piece. It fixes that piece of DNA inside of you. And it's making us all the people that we were meant to be. And that's why I can't stop. My goal with this podcast is we want to educate more people on how to do it. And let's get everybody going, right? I want to start 1 million podcasts. That's the big goal. Get 1 million podcasts and not just episodes, 1 million individual podcasters, right? Out there doing their thing, having conversations, letting God express itself through us and to tell these stories, man, and heal this world. And I think that the consumer world is now waking up to that, right? Nobody wants the TikTok shorts and all that stuff is nice, but people want real conversations like this one. And I'm so appreciative of your time this morning, brother. This has been incredible.
It's been an honor to be in front of you, my bro. For real, for real. We will be connecting. We will be working.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I would love to get some songs going, man. I want to start doing more music. I've been trapped in this studio all winter, freezing my butt off, and I'm ready to get out. I'm ready for that sun to come back and to get on the road and start visiting. Like you said, I'm all about the hugs, man. I want to get out there and hug all these people that I've been connecting with and to visit them and to just keep the tape rolling. Why don't you go ahead and plug everything one time before I let you get out of here?
Man, let me tell y'all something, man. We're here right now. We're doing good. So let me say shout out to my wife. Shout out to my crew and team, man. Shout out to West Coast Mobley as always and his wife, man. I love y'all both for real. Shout out to Acacia. Shout out to some of these artists I know. Some of y'all are doing y'all thing. And like I said, y'all keep grinding. And the only thing we're going to try to do right now is try to motivate everybody and push everybody to the potentials that they can get to, that they didn't know their mind can open up to. Now that we got a clear frequency, let's go.
The Strange One, Donnie Darko. Thanks for being part of the scene.
Oh, man. I love to be here, bro. For real, for real. And thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scene Projects Podcast Network. We appreciate you listening. You can find more at thesceneprojects.com Join our community.
Pour that love on me like water. Got an ocean full of love that's made for two.